If you're anything like Samantha and I, early on in recovery, we felt damaged and we completely felt out of place in our surroundings. And let me explain more. So after everything kind of came out and we had our own D-Day and life was completely turned upside down, we stayed in California for a few months, but eventually we knew, man, we've got to get out of this environment. And for us, we felt like it was the right thing to do. The only support system we had was here in Austin. So we came to Austin. We moved into this apartment that was a bit of a gong show. It was incredibly expensive. We didn't have any other idea where to go. So we took over one of my best friend's leases in this apartment. And I'll tell you, it was, in one way, I think it was Mark Twain that said, in one way it was the best of times, in another way it was the worst of times. I mean, moving in, our moving company took out the side of the gated area, the whole stone area with his big semi. That set us off on the wrong foot. We had neighbors above us that I guess they were professional pogo stick riders, because they did it every night between what appeared to be 9 o'clock and 1 a.m. Dogs ran loose throughout the complex, and my daughter, who at the time was 4, loved it. So there was a dog every time she went on a walk. It was a little bit sketchy. There was just so many things about it that were like, what's going on? And then we're paying this outrageous price. And so I know you're going, where am I going with this? But so then we decided we had to get out of this apartment. So we actually found a house in this really nice subdivision. So we move in. It was much cheaper, but it was just a phenomenal house. We ended up buying that house. We live in that house now. We love it. It was a gift from God in many ways. But it's in a very nice neighborhood. And so early on, we were broke. I mean, it was thin living. I mean, I will tell you honestly, and you've probably gotten this drift through a lot of my blogs, I have learned what it's like to live broke. I mean, in line at the food bank, trying to get money. During certain times of my life in the past, I've flown on private jets. I mean, I've been to both ends of the spectrum, and I understand it. And I will tell you that we found ourselves in this really nice community with our kids going to school with very wealthy people. I mean, they had friends who lived in these incredible homes in different parts of the subdivision. They had friends that were going on this incredibly elaborate vacations. They were going out all the time. Their friends would invite them, hey, come out. And it was like, man, this is going to be an expensive night out for our 8-year-old or what have you. And so there was oftentimes, and I'll be honest with you, Samantha had these moments where she's like, what are we doing here? Why are we in this area? Oh my gosh. And then we had some friends, and they were very well off. And so we found ourselves comparing ourselves oftentimes to their life. One of the biggest struggles was talking to people who were our age or even a tad bit younger that had all these savings or all this retirement plan, or they lived in this awesome house and they had new cars. And so we found ourselves measuring ourselves against them going, oh my gosh, we're so different. And I came to this reality through Rick and through my mentor of, wait a minute. And I want this to help you. We're different. We're not damaged. And there came a point where we had to understand, look, we're just different. We don't have the savings or the house that they've had because they've worked at this company or that company for 15 or 20 years and they've been slugging away without moral crisis, and they've been banking and putting money away every month. You know, this person has been doing this job at this one company that he started or she started, and it's grown and it's matured, and man, they're making 6 or 7 digit, salaries because they've been growing and maturing. I pulled the ripcord and completely traumatized our lives and set the clock over. And so our finances have disintegrated. And then we kind of built them back up, and then the recession happened and we lost everything all over again. So let me just tell you that we had to do a few things to get through this crisis of comparison. And if you're going through infidelity, and if your story is anything like mine, you can find yourself paralyzed with the comparison that you will struggle with. You start to look around you and go, man, we're so axed, we're so damaged, we're so what have you. So let me give you a few things that helped us navigate through what was really a very difficult part of our journey. One of the best things that I was taught to do, and incidentally, none of this stuff I came to on my own. I was taught them by Rick or my mentor, Richard Hogue. One of the best things that I learned how to do with Samantha was constantly center us and go, wait a minute, hold on. We are rebuilding. We do not have all this money or this big giant house or all of this stuff because we are rebuilding our entire lives. Yeah, I know we don't have this, and I know we don't have that, and I know we're living paycheck to paycheck, and I know that when I go out with him, he's in a different world. And when that couple goes on vacation, it's a big deal. We don't have that. But you know what? It's okay. We're not damaged. We're different. We're healing. We're growing. We're rebuilding. We've got something bigger at stake here than a vacation or a car or an extra 1,000 square feet or an extra quarter acre or whatever it is, or mutual funds or bonds or all that stuff. I appreciate that, but for us, we are different. Now, I will tell you, in the centering of our focus, there was moments when I had to look Samantha in the eye and say, I love you, and I want you to know that I'll do whatever you want, but their marriage is dealing with that, and they're dealing with that, and God bless them, and that's good, but for us, this is what we're doing, and this is why life is so difficult. We are rebuilding, refocusing, and we're going to rebuild our marriage and our family the way we want to build it for the rest of our lives. And Samantha loved that because she could see forward thinking, she could see humility, she could see that I was able to see the wide angle lens of things. She saw that I was not freaking out or losing it or going to go chase the dollar or chase this or chase that. I was chasing my family unlike I had ever chased in my life before. Now, another thing that we had to do, and Samantha was pretty good at this, I was really good, partially because I was still dealing with some residue anger for some people that kind of left me high and dry, but there was lots of people that tried to become armchair quarterbacks, mostly to Samantha, and mostly some of Samantha's friends would say, well, you should do this, and you should do this, and early on they were very quick to say, well, I would just do this. And finally, Samantha came home one night and she was really traumatized from one of her really good friends trying to tell her all these things that she should do. And I just said, look, I want to just say this to you, and you do with it what you will, but I want to just appeal to you that she has no idea what you should do. She's not been through infidelity. She's not been through betrayal. She's not been broke. She's not had to borrow money. She's not stood in a food bank line, okay? Her and her 4,000 square foot house and her pool and her jacuzzi and her brand new this and brand new that, true, all of that's true. She can't really relate to where you're at. So she may be saying, well, you should just do this and this, but it's easy to say that when you've never been where you're at. And Samantha started crying because that was the voice that she needed to hear that parted through the confusion and the chaos because I was centering us because my mentor had centered me just a day or two before when I was like, why don't we have this? And I wish we had that. And he had to kind of slap me around and say, hey, realize what you are doing right now. Realize what's at stake here. That leads me to my next observation was I had a very little tolerance for any kind of BS or drama in our life. There was one or two friends that came around and you could just tell, man, there was just a unique kind of difficulty around their life, and everywhere they went, they were drama, and I was like, nope, no time for that. And there was some things that happened with some of our kids' friends' parents. And this one little girl started bullying my little girl at school. I'm going to say I didn't do this right, but I handled it, and it was fixed overnight. There was just a very divine impatience for anything that tried to steal from our unity or oneness or the mission that we were on. Finally, one of the best things that helped was a recalibration. Every time I talked to Rick or my mentor or one of my other best friends, I would realize, listen, this isn't a bump in the road. This isn't just a little challenge. This is the biggest challenge you've ever faced. This is not just about you. This is about Samantha and your 3 kids. This is the biggest thing that you have going on right now. Not your career, not your finances, not your ministry, not your calling, not your gifts and all of that crap. The most important thing right now, Samuel, Rick would say that to me, and my mentor and my buddy, they would all say to me, the most important thing for you right now is to go love your family. Make a career out of loving your family. This isn't a little speed bump and this isn't a little pothole. This is a major recalibration to your life. Do not think that you can phone this in or be flippant about recovery. This is the most important thing you have ever done or been through in your life. And I'll tell you, my friends, it's the same thing for you. This is not just a little speed bump. This is a complete life change. Life change. You are not going to remain damaged. You're going to be different, and different is okay. Embrace the fact that you are different. You may be damaged right now, but pursue healing and pursue recovery, because I promise you, if you'll do what you need to heal, you'll forever be able to say, hold on, whoa, we're not damaged. We're just different, and that's okay.